If you're leading anything right now, maybe a business unit, a product launch, or, just trying to navigate this crazy market, you probably know the feeling.
Hmm.
It's that leadership fog, that sense you're just buried in the urgent stuff, emails, meetings, the latest crisis.
Right. You're definitely moving fast, lots of momentum.
Yeah, exactly. High momentum, but,
Are you driving with a map? Or
you
just
know,
kind of hoping you end up somewhere good?
that's the danger. Because the world, well, it rewards clarity, not just speed. Our sources really highlight this,
Especially now.
especially now, in times of big change, tech disruption, market shifts, you name it, just reacting. It doesn't work. It can actually be fatal for an organization.
So leaders charge ahead, but they miss something fundamental.
They do. They skip the crucial step of looking back, figuring out the terrain they've already covered, and maybe most importantly, getting brutally honest about where they actually stand right now.
Okay, so we need something to cut through that fog, that noise.
Mm-hmm.
The source material gives us this framework, the perspective map. That's right. It's designed for strategic clarity. Think of it like a compass, maybe, forcing alignment between what you do and where you actually want to go.
And it does this by asking what? 3 questions.
3 core questions. They sound simple, but they're deceptively deep. Where have we been? Where are we now? And only then, where are we going?
Okay, deceptively simple usually means they're actually pretty hard questions, right? Why do leaders, even good ones, skip these?
Because they demand you slow down. They require structured reflection. And that feels totally wrong when everything around you is speeding up.
Feels counterintuitive.
Completely.
Yeah.
So our mission today, our deep dive, is really to unpack these 3 questions. We want to show you how charting your position with real honesty is the only way to stop confusing frantic activity with actual progress.
Makes sense. Let's start with the first one then. Where have we been? The past. You called it the bedrock.
Yes, the bedrock. And the core idea here is that reflection isn't just nostalgia. It's navigation.
It's not about feeling good about the past or bad about it necessarily.
Exactly. The biggest barrier to leading wisely often isn't confusion about the future. It's actually forgetfulness about the journey you've already taken. You build faith for the future on the evidence, the historical evidence of your past.
But looking back, that can feel tricky. How do you make sure you're pulling out useful lessons, not just getting bogged down in regret or, wishing for the good old days?
Yeah, that's where the discipline comes in. Let's look at Moses, the book of Deuteronomy. It's a fantastic strategic case study.
Okay.
He gathers the people, right? A whole new generation is about to enter the promised land, a massive transition.
Mm-hmm.
But before they move forward, what does he do?
He makes them look back.
He makes them look back. He recounts the entire 40-year journey, the deserts, the challenges, the lessons learned.
Wow, that's like a national postmortem review. 40 years long. Talk about building institutional memory.
Precisely. And he drills down into specifics. He reminds them of key moments, key provisions. He even says, these 40 years, you have lacked nothing essential. That deep dive into history, that's what grounds their faith for the next step. It validates the mission.
So applying that to an organization today, the quality of your institutional memory could literally make or break your next strategic move.
Absolutely. We're talking about things like disciplined postmortems after projects, real trend analysis, not just guesswork, and maybe building a functional lessons learned database.
Somewhere that captures the wisdom, not just the data points.
Yes, it's about the wisdom. So you don't keep making the same expensive mistakes over and over. But, and this is important, reviewing history means avoiding 2 major traps. The perspective map helps you spot them.
Okay, what's the first trap?
Romanticizing the past. The good old days trap.
Oh, yeah, we've all seen that.
Right. Clinging to old victories, old methods, just because they worked once. It's like the Israelites missing the food in Egypt, but conveniently forgetting the slavery part.
You start worshiping the method, not the mission itself.
Exactly. You get paralyzed by nostalgia, but the opposite is just as bad.
Oh, which is?
Reviling the past. The scorched earth approach.
Right, where everything that came before is just seen as garbage.
Especially common when new leadership comes in, right?
Right.
They want to make their mark. But if you just trash everything old, you lose the valuable lessons learned from failures. You miss the severe mercy, as the sources call it.
You basically delete the organization's DNA, the very thing that helped it survive long enough to even have a future.
You got it.
Yeah.
So looking back requires that brutal honesty. And that same honesty is critical for the next step, figuring out where you stand right now, the present moment.
This is the second axis. Where are we? The "you are here" marker on our map.
And if that marker is off,
Yeah.
well, the whole map is useless, isn't it? You can't chart a course from London to New York if your map mistakenly thinks you're starting in Paris.
So this is about establishing ground truth, reality,
Well,
based on facts, not feelings.
facts, data, honest internal assessment, not just hopes or fears. For leaders, this means rolling up your sleeves and doing the hard work of assessment.
Okay, how? The framework suggests tools like SWOT analysis.
Yes, a proper SWOT analysis, identifying your real strengths, your actual weaknesses, the opportunities out there, and the genuine threats you face.
Why formalize it like that? Can't we just, get a general feel from the team?
Because our general feel is often clouded by ego or fear or just wishful thinking. A formal SWOT, especially when paired with looking at your key performance indicators, your KPIs, forces a certain objectivity.
Moves it from vague feelings to measurable data.
Right. And crucially, it also demands you assess the, let's call it the emotional or spiritual climate. Are your people energized or burnt out? Is the culture toxic or thriving? Data alone won't tell you that.
For a powerful example of this kind of audit, the sources point to the letters to the 7 churches in Revelation.
Oh, absolutely. That structure is a masterclass in present tense assessment. Look at the pattern. Each letter starts with "I know." He establishes the ground truth. He sees the reality.
And comes the good stuff.
Then comes commendation, acknowledging the strengths, what they're doing right. But it's immediately followed by rebuke, confronting the weaknesses, the failures. You need both. You have to see the good and face the hard truths.
And the biggest danger here, the pitfall the source material warns about, is skipping this whole assessment step, falling into delusional optimism.
Exactly. We call it the Laodicean lie. Remember that church in Laodicea?
Yeah, they thought they had it all figured out.
They thought they were rich, wealthy, needing nothing, super self-sufficient, confident in their own assessment.
But the reality check, the view from the outside, from the mapmaker, was totally different.
Polar opposite. They were actually wretched, pitiful, poor, blind, and naked.
Wow. That level of self-deception, it's
Yeah.
deadly.
It is, because you end up treating the wrong disease. If you think you're financially sound when you're actually bleeding cash, or you think your team is unified when it's deeply fractured,
Yeah.
all your efforts are wasted. You can't fix what you refuse to even see.
Okay, so let's recap. We've looked back honestly. Where have we been? We've assessed our current reality ruthlessly. Where are we? We have these 2 fixed points.
Right. Memory and reality.
Now, finally, we have the foundation to actually chart a course forward. We can look for that northern star. Where are we going?
Yes. And this is where your strategic plans, your budgets, your vision casting, this is where they get their power. Because now they're aligned with wisdom, not just wishful thinking or ambition.
The vision isn't just plucked out of thin air.
No. It grows organically from the intersection of those historical lessons and your honest assessment of the present.
The biblical example here is Nehemiah, right? The builder.
Perfect example.
Yeah.
Think about where his vision came from. It wasn't cooked up in some palace strategy session.
No, it came from hearing about the broken walls of Jerusalem. He wept over the reality.
That broken reality, that honest assessment of where we are, directly fueled the vision he cast. Come, let us rebuild the wall. That's Nehemiah 2.1. But here's the crucial next step.
He didn't just stop with the inspiring speech.
No way. He immediately moved into detailed action planning. Chapter 3 is practically a project plan, specific assignments, specific teams, specific families responsible for specific sections of the wall. That combination, powerful vision plus granular actionable steps, that's the model.
So for us, envisioning the future means that compelling vision casting, yes, but then grounding it with goals that are smart.
Absolutely. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. You have to paint the picture of where you're going, but also define what success actually looks like in concrete terms. Otherwise, your team just wanders aimlessly.
Okay, are there traps here too? Just like in the past and present stages?
Oh, definitely. A major one is what the source material calls the Babel complex.
Babel, like the tower.
Exactly. Genesis 11. Remember their motivation. Come, let us build ourselves a city, and let us make a name for ourselves.
Make a name for ourselves. That's the key phrase.
That's the warning sign. A Babel vision is driven by ambition, by ego, by wanting to build our empire, make us famous. It's detached from real discernment or purpose.
Whereas a Nehemiah vision is about what?
It asks, what needs to be rebuilt? What serves the larger mission? what honors the purpose regardless of who gets the credit. The perspective map, by grounding you in past and present reality, helps you filter out those babble impulses.
Okay, this is making a lot of sense. Can we quickly walk through that personal life mapping example you mentioned, just to see how these three parts click together for someone listening?
Sure. Let's say you're mapping a shift in your own leadership or maybe just your life priorities. First, where have I been?
Okay, looking back.
You look back honestly and maybe you see a pattern. Every time you hit a big career goal, you consistently let your relationships or your health slide. That's your documented history data point.
Got it. Painful, maybe, but honest. Second, where am I?
Now you do that honest SWOT. Strengths. Maybe professional success is high. Weaknesses.
Yeah.
You assess the emotional climate and realize, wow, I'm exhausted and my closest relationships are strained because work takes everything. That's the ground truth.
Okay, history logged, present reality faced. Now what?
Now, where am I going?
I mean,
Because the first 2 points are clear. The vision isn't just some vague do better. It's specific and realistic. Maybe the vision becomes about long-term sustainability and relational health, not just the next achievement.
and the action steps reflect that.
Exactly. The SMART goal isn't just try harder, it's concrete. Schedule a non-negotiable weekly date night. Implement a real Sabbath rest, turning off the work phone no matter what urgent thing pops up. The plan flows directly from the diagnosis.
So the clarity from facing your past and your present, that's what gives your future plans integrity and makes them actually achievable.
That's the essence of it. It takes that overwhelming ambiguity and turns it into an actionable strategy.
That really is the power of the perspective map then. It forces that vital alignment. Memory, reality, vision, all connected.
And we struggle with this because, as you said at the start, we're caught in the tyranny of the urgent. Just reacting, putting out fires, stuck in the fog.
Constantly mistaking that momentum for actual meaning or progress.
Right.
So maybe we can leave our listeners with this final thought, this provocative question that comes straight from the source material we've been discussing.
Okay.
What if that fog you feel in your leadership? What if it isn't a sign that God is absent or the path is impossible? What if it's actually an invitation? An invitation to slow down, pull out the map, and really see.
That's powerful because true leadership, fundamentally, is about perspective, isn't it? It's the ability to step back, see clearly not just what is right now, but also what has been and therefore what could be, if you're anchored in wisdom and honesty.
The best leaders are the best map makers.
They absolutely are. They know where they've been, where they are, and where they're truly going.